Superman, Wonder Woman, Batman, Iron Man, the X-Men, all of these people. I mean, growing up, you just see them as these larger than life characters that they're everything you want to be, all the things that you ascribe to be. Powerful, heroes, loved, adored, worshipped. These are all these things that categorize a hero, a superhero more specifically. And when we, as people, we grow up and we are constantly bombarded with these things, and we never, ever. I mean, it's a microcosm of the larger macro system, in plain sight. We never analyze what we're actually doing. See, if you go back to the biblical days, Hercules, Achilles, Zeus was the same situation. They used to make idols, wooden dolls, similar to the action figures and dolls we parade around with today. So, as Christians, you have to ask yourself, is it really wise to buy our children these things? It's a good question to ask. I don't know. I really wouldn't be able to tell you, because the truth of the matter is, would you listen to me if I told you not to? That's a very serious question, because think about it. If I told you tomorrow that your favorite superhero was actually a facade for a Greek god, would you stop watching his movies? Would you stop buying your kids his action figures? Would you take a lifetime of adoration, if you want to use a word that's less than worship, and throw it down the drain? I ask that question because it's a question I have to ask myself a lot of times. How serious am I about, really researching these New Age gods? Because we as people never really analyze what we hand to our children, what we take in. And so that's what my channel is basically about. And one of the series in my channel is called New Age Gods, in which I break down a character from our childhood that we did not even know was based on an actual idol worship. Now, if you're not a Christian, you don't care anyway, so who really cares? You continue to keep playing with it, and I pray that God will reach you at some point. But if you are a Christian, the question that you should be asking yourself is, what was the inspiration around a lot of these characters? And the character that I am focused on today, I think about it a lot. My daughter has a Wonder Woman doll. You just think it's a superhero I grew up with, one of the, top, the big three: Wonder Woman, Batman, Superman. Or you can think about them by the names, because if you look in the Bible, it speaks on this: gods of many names. They were the old ones. They had many names. So names obviously were not important to them. You have Zeus, who was known by what was it, Jupiter or Neptune. They had a bunch of different names. So names are not really important. It's the image. It's the worship of the image. When you go back to the statue, the calf of Moab, all these false idols, they were always made in an image, and they worship that image. And I think it's no different. I think the satanic, occultic media has found ways to push their old gods into our children's hands. Most of us have these idols in our households, and we never stop to think about the detriment that they may or may not be doing. Because you think back on that situation, when they brought those idols down, God ended up killing everybody in the camp because of the idols that were made. Everybody who worshiped that idol was taken out. Obviously, we as Christians are not under the rule of law. We're under the blood of Jesus. So obviously we're not dealing with those type of consequences, but spiritually, can they do harm? It's a question you have to ask yourself. The focus of our discussion today will be about the DC character known as Wonder Woman. As I said before, she's one of the big three. Wonder Woman was a character created by a guy named William Moulton Marston, also known by the pen name Charles Moulton. He was a psychologist and inventor. Now, this guy wasn't the most biblical of guys, but I'm going to explain that a little later. But Wonder Woman, she was a fictional superhero. You know, she debuted in October 1941. And she was really the first female icon, you know, of the 1940s. You know, alongside Superman, she was really the first huge female superhero. But she was always set up as an idol. She was made and created to be an idol. And the idol that she was made to trick our children into following was the goddess Diana. Diana was the Roman god of the hunt, the moon, and nature. She's equated with the Greek god Artemis, and is the daughter of Jupiter and Latona, and twin brother of Apollo. We'll get into that a little later. But Diana was clearly made using the goddess Diana as the archetype. Literally, her name is Diana Prince. That is her alias that she uses, Diana Prince. So clearly, this woman was made, and she was made by the god Zeus out of clay. That's her background. In other words, Jupiter, Zeus. So Zeus made her just like Zeus made Diana, supposedly. So my point in saying what I'm saying is, when you look at a lot of these idols, we don't really know where they come from. We just watch them, and then we'll make them and give them to our children and ask them to play with them without actually analyzing what we're actually handing to our children, because it's kind of bad. This guy, William Moulton Marston, getting back to him, was an American psychologist, inventor, and from early days. Now, what's interesting about this guy is he was both married and in a life partnership, whatever that means, with a woman named Olive Byrne, who was the daughter of Ethel Byrne, who was the sister of Margaret Sanger. Now, majority of us probably don't know who Ethel Byrne is. But we definitely know who Margaret Sanger is. Vile racist created Planned Parenthood, or at least is influential in the construction of Planned Parenthood, and champion of abortion, women's rights. I mean, they see her as some women's rights leader. She's really a bad lady. She's a terrible lady. She was a racist, champion of abortion, terrible lady. So obviously, this lady who he based the character on, this lady, Olive Byrne. I mean, it's a terrible prototype to begin with. But she was given the name Diana. This occultic, going back to occult roots. People need to understand that this lady is not, Wonder Woman is not someone you should be, if you're a Christian, you should be giving to your children. It's not to say that, that a person is evil or bad. And like I said, we're covered by the blood of Jesus. But I do think there's something to be said about having these idols, and the reason why they try their best to try to get these idols into children's homes. because Wonder Woman is one of the big ones. You know, you got Batman, who's obviously a representation of Hades. You have Superman, who's obviously a representation of Zeus. And when you look at these goddess Artemis, Diana, whatever you want to call her, you know, the Hunt. I mean, they're known for Diana as a warrior. The goddess Diana is a warrior goddess, just like her counterpart Artemis. So you know, when you see these things, these TV shows and stuff that these people champion, you should understand it's not as innocent as they make them out to be. We all grew up liking these things, and throughout these next couple of weeks, I will step forward and try to explain and break down a lot of these things in more detail, so that you understand certain things are okay for your children to champion, and some things your children should be as far away from as possible. So I will do that, and when I come back next week, I'll try to continue to keep putting up more and more of these breakdowns, letting people understand the true nature of a lot of these goddesses that they put out. So anyways, please subscribe, comment, let me know what you think. Like I said before, if you have any superheroes that you want me to look into, I will do my best to try to find as much information as I can, as I did in this one, and try to break down why I think that what I think the general reason for these idols are. So please, like I said, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification so you can get my videos as soon as they come out. All right, peace.